Welcome to the Afia International Company. The Afia International Company, Arabia, the originating seed of the Safola Group Empire, is committed to maintain its leadership in the edible oil business whilst ensuring the health and safety of our employees and the continual improvement of our occupational health, safety and environmental management system. At AIC, everybody is responsible to make a contribution and adhere to health and safety rules implemented by the company. We are all responsible for the health and safety of each other. It is a partnership between you, co-workers, management and the company, with the sole aim to strive for zero accident. Every working day, all of us arrive healthy at our working place, expecting to leave at the end of our working day safe and in one piece. To achieve this, we need to look after each other, create a safe working environment, and adhere to the safety regulations and guidelines. Safety programs exist because accidents happen as a result of two distinct groups of unsafe factors. The first group can be classified as unsafe conditions that includes but is not exclusive to untidy work areas, faulty equipment, slippery floors, and inadequate lighting. The second group of factors is known as unsafe acts that result from people's behavior. For example, not following safe work procedures, inappropriate use of equipment, or the failure to wear required personal protective equipment. All employees are trained to perform their job. If you are assigned to a new task or an area you are not familiar with, you have to familiarize yourself with the job safety requirements and how it is performed. You have the right to refuse working if the task given imposes an uncontrolled safety risk. Untrained employees are more susceptible to risk and accidents due to lack of knowledge and skills. However, even skilled employees must constantly take safety precautions into consideration. Overconfidence in performing risky tasks is a major cause of accidents. Safety. Safety starts with you. And the first step towards a safe working environment is adhering to the many signs and safety rules in different areas of our factory site. Now, safety signs are divided into 5 main categories, which are prohibitory, red circle signs with a strike through, mandatory, dark blue circle, firefighting information, red square signs, general information, green square signs, and warning, yellow triangle signs. The risk of accidents exists everywhere, and our factory site and offices consist of many activities. Each has its own specific associated hazards or risks. An accident is an incident which has given rise to injury, ill health, or fatality. An incident where no injury, ill health, or fatality occurs is referred to as a near miss. When an incident involves damages to non-humans, such as machines, buildings, or vehicles, they are referred to as property damage accidents. All the 3 mentioned types of incidents must be immediately reported to the safety department by those who have witnessed its occurrence. Accident reporting forms are distributed to all sections. It is very important to fill in the accident report form whenever accidents happen. This is to protect the employee's right against any insurance claims, to comply with civil defense requirements, as well as to protect the company against any liabilities. In addition, this will help to implement applicable corrective actions and ensure proper monitoring of accident rates. A hazard is any source of potential damage, harm, or adverse health effects on something or someone under certain conditions at work. Hazards are classified into 4 main categories. Physical. For example, slips and falls, cuts, falling stacks, vehicle and machinery movement, electrocution, noise, and hot surfaces. Chemical. For example, hazardous chemical substances and toxicities. Biological. For example, toilets, unhygienic areas, and ergonomics. For example, back injuries and illnesses. Hazard spotting and reporting procedure. All employees are encouraged to submit safety improvement reports whenever a hazard is spotted in their work area or elsewhere. For every hazard we report and eliminate, we are reducing the chances for accidents to happen. Safety improvement report forms are distributed by the Safety Department to all sections. Employees should take action themselves if a hazard can be eliminated easily. Otherwise, the report should be filed and submitted to their line managers. The line manager should evaluate the situation, assess the risk involved, and whether the hazard is valid or not. Line managers must submit the signed report to the Safety Department and concerned department for corrective action. First aid personnel. In the event of an unforeseen accident occurring at work, the injured person can be treated immediately by a fully trained first aider who has been trained to deal with emergencies. First aid boxes are provided in every section. All security guards and safety inspectors are trained to conduct first aid. The names of the different sections' first aid trade employees are listed on the first aid boxes. Emergency contact numbers are also listed on the first aid boxes. The company clinic is also available to treat any case during the day from Saturday to Wednesday. Dress for the occasion. Personal protection equipment, or PPE, were not designed to make you uncomfortable. It is there to prevent grievous bodily harm to you. When hazards cannot be eliminated by engineering means, PPE use is the only layer of protection you have. Do not neglect it. When on site, always wear the correct personal protective equipment required for the job you are doing. For example, safety shoes are mandatory for anyone entering the plant, including employees, contractors, and visitors. Safety shoes for visitors are provided with different sizes at the security gate. Please ask the security guards to provide you with safety shoes before entering the plant, if you or your visitors aren't wearing any. For welding tasks, welding face shields must be worn to protect your skin from burns, and a long-sleeve overall is also mandatory. Hearing protection is of paramount importance at the tin can section and compressors room, where there are constant high levels of noise. Prolonged exposure to this high level of noise will affect your hearing abilities and you will end up with difficulties in hearing low-tone sounds. Simply put, you will go deaf, not the company. On a yearly basis, noise levels at various sections will be assessed and the hearing protection zones will be identified. Eye protection. Safety goggles should be worn in all the designated areas where there's a risk of foreign materials or chemicals entering your eyes. Gumboots gives protection against water and chemical spills where your normal shoes will not withstand penetration by these substances. Wear them. Protection against hazardous chemical substances is provided by chemical goggles, chemical gloves, masks, and chemical suit aprons as applicable. Safety harnesses are designed to hook up at heights and when you enter confined spaces. Humans cannot fly and land safely. Working at heights, which consists of any work done at above 2 meters, requires additional protective equipment. This includes a safety harness and safety buckle. The buckle must be attached to a stable structure at all times. Hard hats must be used in any areas with risk of falling objects. Construction and maintenance at high sites are examples. Lifting while stacking. Lifting heavy objects can cause serious back injuries. For this reason, wearing a lumbar belt whilst loading products and product packaging is mandatory. It will help to prevent the strain that lifting can cause on the back. General safety rules. Smoking. Smoking is not allowed on site. There are designated smoking areas around the plant. Please keep these clean and free of papers and cigarette butts. When leaving the smoking area, ensure that all cigarette butts have been put out and not left smouldering. Hazardous chemicals. Personnel mostly exposed to dangerous chemicals are in these areas: process refinery, utilities, laboratories, cleaning and pest control zones. The following dangerous chemicals are used in the plant. Caustic soda may cause chemical burns, permanent injury or scarring if it contacts unprotected human tissue. It may cause blindness if it makes contact with the eye. Sulfuric acid is a very corrosive liquid and will result in severe skin burns. Hydrochloric acid forms acidic mists. Both the mist and the solution have a corrosive effect on human tissue, with the potential to damage the respiratory organs, eyes and skin. Prolonged inhalation and exposure to bleaching earth has the ability to damage your respiratory organs and may cause lung cancer. Spent bleaching earth contains oil that may ignite spontaneously under normal conditions and ambient temperature, and hence the result of a fire risk. Don't throw gloves or any materials into the spent bleaching earth containers, as they may catch fire. Sodium metal is used in laboratories. It is considered a serious fire and explosion risk and requires special storage conditions because of its reactivity with water, alcohols, and some other compounds. Laboratory chemicals must be handled with care. Various chemicals, beside their own corrosive nature, may react with each other if mixed and may result in unfortunate accidents. All the material safety data sheets are available at the point of their use. You are entitled to have access to them. Follow the MSDS, the Material Safety Data Sheet directions. Use the appropriate PPE like chemical gloves, chemical shield goggles, gumboots, chemical aprons and masks where applicable. Handle the chemicals by using the safe mechanical aids trolleys and dosing pumps where applicable. All chemicals must be disposed of with care. Confined spaces. Confined spaces might contain hazardous gases, vapor, dust or fumes, and precautions should be taken before entering. A work permit shall be obtained from the safety department prior to entry. The confined space or tank must be purged and ventilated to maintain a safe atmosphere. The confined space or tank must be isolated from all pipes, ducts and other openings by effective blanking. If the above is unpractical, the person entering the confined space must wear a harness securely attached to a rope with a second person attending the free end to assist or remove the person from the confined space. Forklift guidelines. Only authorized personnel are allowed to drive company vehicles and forklifts. Before operating the forklift, inspect its condition properly to determine that it is fit and safe for use. Don't use forklifts to transport or lift people. Always wear your seatbelt. Adhere to the speed limit. Be careful while passing crossroads. While driving or transporting a load, keep the fork at least 15 centimeters above the ground, but no more than 30 centimeters. Don't drive with the load raised. Using a mobile phone whilst driving a forklift is completely prohibited. Keep the forklift in its parking area if not in use. Don't park the forklift and obstruct fire extinguishers, passages, or emergency exits. Don't depart and leave the forklift in operation mode. Machinery and equipment. Moving machine parts have the potential to cause severe workplace issues, such as crushed fingers or hands, amputations, burns, or blindness. By following a few simple rules, many potential accidents can be eliminated. Do not play and fool around in workshops and in the factory. All persons working on a machine or with equipment must be trained and declared competent to do so. Machine guarding is critical to prevent anything from entering the moving parts of the machine. When guarding of a machine have been removed for repairs or cleaning, ensure that you put them back and secure the guarding. No machine guarding may be removed or disabled. No loose clothing. It can get caught in moving machinery. Wear gloves. For working on any equipment or machinery with sharp edges or blades, gloves protect your hands and fingers. Look after your hands. They cannot be replaced. When using welding equipment, make sure your workplace are properly screened off and that you wear the appropriate PPE. Spectators should not look into the welding light. It can cause permanent damage to your eyes. Be aware of where to find emergency stops of equipment when working around machines with special hazards. Vehicles. For your own safety, stay at least 1 meter away from moving vehicles. To drive a vehicle, you need a valid driver's license for the type of vehicle and permission to drive it. Cranes and lifting equipment are only to be operated by trained, certified employees. Restricted areas. Only authorized employees are allowed to enter the following restricted areas as they impose high risk. Laboratories, electrical feeder rooms, generator rooms, utilities, and firefighting pump rooms. Work permits. A work permit is required and should be obtained from the safety department for the following activities: working at heights, hot work, electrical, excavation, or confined space entry. Each of these has special safety procedures that need to be followed and requires special safety equipment that needs to be issued to the person that is going to execute the work. Contractors management. Contractors need to follow the same safety procedures that are required from regular full-time staff. A contractor or subcontractor shall not start work until authorized. All equipment brought into the plant by the contractor must be in safe operational condition. Smoking is only permitted in the designated smoking areas. Contractors shall leave the site in a clean and tidy condition. Contractors should erect proper signage at the area of work to keep people around the working area alerted. Contractors and his employees should wear the proper PPE when fulfilling their duties. Fires. Fire is one of the most destructible forces in nature. They are not restricted to plants and other multi-activity workshops. It can happen anywhere. Fire is the result of an oxidation reaction which gives off heat and light. It requires, firstly, a fuel to burn, secondly, an oxidant, usually atmospheric oxygen, and thirdly, a source of energy strong enough to get the reaction going. This might be heat, a small flame, ember, or even an electrical spark. At AIC plants, 3 types of fire extinguishing medias are available. First, pressurized water or a hose reel used for Class A fires involving organic solids such as paper and wood. Secondly, CO2 extinguishers, which are placed near electrical panel rooms and should be used for Class B fires that involve flammable or combustible liquids, petrol, grease and oil fires. as well as Class E fires involving electrical appliances. Never use water for this type of fire. Thirdly, chemical powder extinguishers that can be used for various types of fires and are considered a general-purpose extinguisher. To activate a fire extinguisher, pull the pin, aim to the base of the fire, squeeze the lever, and sweep from side to side. The company has equipped some of the areas with sprinkler systems and firefighting systems, including 2 different gases, FM200 and CO2. For areas fitted with these systems, employees must evacuate the area in case the system has released the gas by accident. Emergency evacuation and assembly points. The AEC plant is equipped with smoke and heat detectors and emergency alarms. 6 assembly points have been allocated to cover the whole plant. Each section of the plant has its own assembly point. Please ask your supervisor which assembly point is applicable to the section you are working in. When an emergency situation occurs, an alarm will sound. Remain calm and leave the area through the pre-planned exit route towards the nearest assembly point. Go quickly, but do not run. Don't use elevators or stop to collect anything. Whenever possible, switch off machines and equipment by pressing the emergency switches in order not to expose people to undue risks. Inform safety and security guards to assess the situation and take the necessary measures. A roll call has to be carried out at an assembly point, and the results have to be reported to the safety department and senior management. The roll call will be done by the section managers, supervisors, or according to seniority. Don't leave the assembly point without permission. Return to work when the all clear has been sounded. Our company has a culture enshrined with our ethics and values. It is a culture where individuals can grow and develop while contributing to the success of the business. But to achieve this, we need safe and healthy employees. Remember, we in the safety department work for your well-being and not against it. Be safe and stay fit.